Welcome to Time Warner Cable's Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. Our guest, Mark Ridley-Thomas, member of the Board of Supervisors in Los Angeles County. And sir, I thought we'd look back at 2012, the year that your office had in 2012. I think it's fair to say it was a pretty good year.
It was indeed.
We had some tremendous developments as it relates to health care, both locally and federally.
That's right.
Let's talk local.
Well, I think it's fair to say that we have had a tremendous year with respect to the number of school-based health centers that have made their way onto the scene in the County of Los Angeles, particularly in the 2nd District, and these are the most cost-effective ways to get health care to high school students on the question of mental health services is what they are seeking.
We have to talk about that.
We have to talk
We
about
know what happened in Connecticut.
We do know.
And we know that the perpetrator was a recent high school graduate.
Yes.
I have to think there were
Right.
signs. A tragedy of unspeakable proportion
Right.
for everyone involved. What can the county do on the question of mental health in schools run by local school districts?
Well, we partner with them and we fund those school-based health centers. And it's interesting that the students themselves are seeking the services. Therefore, what you will find is not the school nurse. When you and I went to school and were afforded an opportunity to lay on a cot and
Right.
put a little
That was it. Right. Cold compress on your head.
right and a little Tylenol.
Exactly. If you're lucky, if your mom signed a note.
Often enough now, you will find a physician assistant who's trained in mental health services, but you might find an adolescent psychiatrist who can prescribe as well as do therapies for those youngsters.
At public schools?
At public schools.
Is that revolutionary? Is that
It is
unique?
indeed. It is. It is. It is very unique, but there are MSWs, those who are trained in social work and other clinical areas to help these youngsters who are suffering from post-traumatic stress disorders as well as...
But let me ask you this, if I may. What I so often see is you have a kid that writes a note that is violent or suggests violence, and what happens? They get expelled.
Well, not...
It's the last thing that should happen.
No, we don't want to do that. They need supervision,
Right.
they need support. But all of this has to be done in a clinical setting, in an affirmative environment, and with a spirit of what nonviolence embraces and teaches and practices. I think the gun culture has made us so crazy until we haven't done our best thinking. But thanks be to God that we have a president now who's coming forward with an agenda that I think Congress and the nation has to respond to.
But that being said, California already has amongst
true.
the strictest gun laws on the books.
It does.
You know, I don't know what a Republican Congress does
Right.
with the proposed legislation.
Well, I think they will be hard-pressed to ignore. And I believe further that we will see steps taken that have not been taken. It will be history-making, and it will civilize the environment in a way that we can celebrate.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention Martin Luther King Hospital.
Right.
Where are we?
We are at a good place, and approximately 3 months, the hospital will be substantially complete. We will be entering the phase where equipment is going into the hospital. The construction will have been done. We will begin the process of hiring up staff, training. It takes a lot to get a new hospital up and running, and so nothing but good news about the new Martin Luther King Community Hospital.
His name is Mark Ridley-Thomas. He is a supervisor in Los Angeles County. I'm Brad Pomerance. We thank you for watching Time Warner Cable's Local Edition.